today, what I thought I'd do, because a lot of people are using this, and then sometimes understanding the background on how we decided to try this. And so I'll briefly describe, if I could, two separate research discoveries that merged to cause us to try this particular procedure. And those discoveries are, and I'll go into a little bit of detail about them, was the first one is that we were studying maladjustment. I'll go through that. And we found that it was linked to a persistent elevation of neurosteroids in the affected foals. And I'll explain what those are and how we did that. Then separately, we had a research project simply investigating the flopping reaction in foals. When we hold foals snugly, their heads go down. So we had a nice research project with Balazs Toth and several others and Dr. Alleman. So those merged, and I'll show you that as we go on here into thinking about trying this squeeze. So our equine comparative neurology group, there's a lot of people that, one of the things that helped me is be around a lot of smart people and get their input and share ideas. So we have Dr. Woolsey, who's been helping us for a long time, Emily Haggett from the UK, Balazs Toth, Pat McHugh, and of course, Dr. Alleman runs the comparative neurology program there. So I started with neonates a long time ago in 1985. I had a new assignment when one of our faculty died in a plane crash, and I had to take this over. So I was in the early stages when we did not, it was just emerging to do critical care in the mid 80s and late 80s. And so type of population that we saw, of course, did include the maladjusted foal. And just so everybody, I'm sure, is aware, but it's also called perinatal asphyxia syndrome, with the suspicion at that time that it was related to hypoxemia and ischemia. Neonatal encephalopathy, well, that could be biochemical or other. And then hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, which we don't have much evidence for, as I'll go through. So we did everything like other people were doing, and take the foals out, try to wake them up. They were stuporous, wandering. It's a clinical diagnosis. And of course, preventing or treating early sepsis is essential for the outcomes that we got. And then because there was often these foals that had were born with a premature placental separation, as we see here, and then they would become a dummy foal, people said, well, that's low oxygen. And that might fit into why the foals are not behaving well. And there were still some problems with that thought, because if you're going to deliver a foal that has from a premature placental separation, you have to deliver them rapidly. And we're now pretty well convinced with some of the evidence we have that the birth canal pressures are part of the signaling transition from in utero consciousness to extrauterine life. So, and then the other thing is that in the 60s and 70s, they were still doing pathology on these foals because the outcomes weren't very good. We didn't have critical care. We didn't have sepsis scores. We didn't have the big time antimicrobials, didn't have CRIs and all that. It's hard to believe, but that's the way it was. So these foals died the old fashioned way, and they had lesions in a lot of places, and there were DIC, cytokine cascade things. And now when we have to quit on one of these foals, we don't see that same neuropath when they've been supported to some extent. So I think we got confused by some of those earlier, very, very early path reports. Because here's the thing, 80% of these foals recover if you get the time and money. And sometimes it's a lot of money. One of my friends just had a foal release from a clinic back east, and the bill was $16,000. And it was from a red bag delivery. So for the hypoxic ischemic, I won't belabor this, but we don't have MRI series, we don't have brain waves, and this 80% recovering without any neurologic deficits made us think we ought to be looking for something else. And when we know the hypoxia cascade here, that there is cell death associated with that, and the unfortunate outcome in humans and then some animal models, it's all these learned disabilities that are on here. Their motor activities, intellectual behavior, hearing, visual, all this, because there's significant, if there's significant hypoxia, ischemia to put you flat out after you've been born, it's not, it does make sense that in 3 to 5 days you snap out of it, go home, you don't need any other treatment, you're completely normal. So those things didn't make sense to us. And then we kept an open mind, like, well, what else could be going on? So we took a look at this